Hey YouTube, this is Josh Mon here. Today I'll be trying out, unbottling, I suppose, a bourbon that I've never had before. It is Kings County PEATED Bourbon. I don't know if you get a good look there. It is from Kings County Distillery, New York. I actually just picked this up recently when I was on a trip to New York City. My wife and I, we were there for Coffee Fest. We got out just in time. As we left, they were enacting some pretty strict quarantines on the island, so thankfully we seem to have emerged without actually having the coronavirus, but it was a pretty scary time. Anyway, I thought it'd be really neat to try this. I saw it listed online. A lot of websites discussed Kings County as one of the better distilleries to check out when you're in New York City. I'll admit I didn't actually try anything at their distillery, nor did I go on the tour. By that point in the trip, I was too poor. I was out of money. But I was able to tap into my Patreon funds, thanks to all of my lovely patrons, and in celebration of my first month of the Patreon being active, I was able to buy this fun little bottle and enjoy the fruits of my labor a little bit. The Patreon, by the way, there's a link in the description of every video. It's to a serial episodic ongoing story called The Mess of It All. It takes place post an imagined World War I. The idea is that World War I actually went a little differently than it did in actuality, and things get real crazy. Some H.G. Wells type sci-fi stuff happens, and the story picks up about 25 years post that as our main character, Ernest, explores the ruins of America. Anyway, without any further ado, let's see what I was actually able to get. It's one of these plastic things. See if I can do this without injuring myself on camera. Oh. We might be getting somewhere. One of the other things that I was able to do in New York City, in addition to Coffee Fest and narrowly avoiding an epidemic, was we went to a meadery where local honey wine was being produced by none other than former Disney Channel star Dylan Sprouse. We went to his meadery. I had heard that he was associated with it. I thought he was a financial partner. Imagine my surprise when he was working the register. It's pretty funny. We talked mead for a while. We talked about this one book in particular, Wild Fermentation by Sandor Katz. Out of the two people I know who've read that book, Dylan Sprouse is one of them. Now onto the bourbon. I'm almost getting a sherry smell off of it. Ooh, and it's salt forward. Butterscotch. Do a gentle little pour because I'm broke. To my understanding, the mash bill is 80% corn and 20% peated barley. They are, I believe they were the first American distillery to import peated barley for use in their bourbon. I understand there are a few others now that do this as well. Butterscotch and salt on the nose. The peat isn't abundantly smoky. It's not briny on the nose as much as it is salted sweets. And there's a lot more fruit than I was expecting. Like a wine-like quality. Though I don't think they age this in sherry casks, so I'm not sure where that's coming from. Regardless, let's give it a taste. Wow. It is buttery. There's a lot of caramel. Good salted butterscotch. Yeah, this is bottled at 90 proof, 45% alcohol, so I feel like it bears that really well. The Whiskey Tribe, when they discussed this whiskey, they said it had an antique wood aroma, which is very specific, but I would concur. This was a little pricey. My little 200 milliliter bottle set me back, I think, about $25, but I feel like it's worth it. Tiny bit of that nice, I think it's nice, vulcanized rubber aroma that emerges sometimes with peat. Reminds me of being like at the mechanics shop or something. Not that I know a lot about that, but I like to pretend. As far as the associated World War I story today, I think I can just leave it at, I'm reminded of the Spanish flu. That's about it. Damn, this is really buttery, really sweet. I'm more of a Scotch drinker. My tastes don't generally leave me thrilled about bourbons. I like a lot of bourbons. I really like some bourbons, but in general, my palate leans much more towards the Scotch end of the spectrum. And this is the first bourbon that I've been floored by. If you find yourself in New York, or if you see this for sale anywhere near you, I definitely feel like this was worth the price. And thank you again to all of my beautiful patrons on Patreon. Thank you for your support. Thank you for making this happen. I know that the Patreon isn't strictly a whiskey-affiliated one, but regardless, I appreciate that you made this possible. Stay safe out there, you guys. We're gonna get through this strange coronavirus chapter that we're all in, but I think that the way forward will be through mutual aid and selflessness rather than self-interest and an over-focus on protecting what's mine. Anyway, we'll see how this video ages. We might think differently in the post-apocalyptic wasteland a few years from now, but till then, be well. I'll see you guys soon.